Alright, here is an overview of the 414 cockpit. Sitting here waiting for the weather updates to come in. So over here we have our fuse panels, our emergency power, and our alternator and air conditioning fuses. Here is another bank of circuit breakers. Right here is all of our lights, our de-icing, and our heat. Up here is our magnetos, our fuel pumps, our starters, our amp meter, battery meter, and our masters. Up here is the pressurization equipment. And over here are our pressurization dumps. Okay, here's our 6-pack with artificial horizon, our heading indicator. Over here is our engine analyzer, airspeed, altimeter, vertical speed indicator, our mode selectors for the autopilot, and our altitude select and alert for the autopilot. Up here is our manifold pressure and RPM, manifold pressure, RPM, and our fuel flow meter. Fuel quantity gauges for mains and auxiliary tanks. Main tanks on the 414 are those tip tanks out there, and the auxiliary tanks are in the wing. We also see we have a fuel locker just behind the engine. That'll hold an extra 20 gallons, and that's only on one side. Here's our engine gauges, our oil PSI, our cylinder head temperature, and our oil temperature. Over here is our air conditioning control and our Hobbs meter. Air conditioning controls up here, Hobbs meter down here. Landing gear, oxygen valve to control the oxygen if we need to put on our masks. We have a Garmin 530 and 430, Garmin 340 radio control that controls the communications and also what people can hear in the cabin. Our Avidyne, and down here is our Garmin 330 transponder, Garmin 696 extra GPS. There's a secondary transponder there, outside air temperature gauge, our prop de-ice gauge, and the second 6-pack for the co-pilot, airspeed, artificial horizon, altimeter. This is an EGT, so we can monitor the engine gas temperatures quickly. Heading indicator and a vertical speed indicator. Over here is all the switches and all our switches for our lights in the plane. Our throttle control, prop control, mixture control. the trim, nose trim, trim for roll, yaw trim. Here is the autopilot with the autopilot pitch and turn controls and the on and off switches for the autopilot and yaw damper. Down here are the cowl flaps. Here is our flap lever, and over here is our cabin air. We can control how warm it is, and the froster and the heater. And over here is our avionics bank, circuit breakers. Now the 414, the gas controls, the fuel flow controls are down here on the floor. See, here's the throttle down here for the left and right engines. The main, which is the tanks on the tips of the wings. All auxiliary tank here, which is for the tanks in the wings. And then we have off controls and cross feed controls in there as well. And also this side is here for the right hand engine. And that's pretty much for the cockpit.